Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. Today, I chat to you about my lovely team, Kaizer Chiefs. And today, I do something I have been trying to avoid for a very long time. And that is today, I tell the truth about how I feel about my team. A lot of you are going to be like, hey, some of you are going to come back and say, negativity. Oh, negative. That's why we are losing. It's the problem is that you're negative. But yeah, Bafet, I'm going to be talking about that, everyone. But before I get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe. You will see today I pulled out like a little graph that I made of the season, and I'm showing you this graph for one specific reason. I wanted to show you that Chiefs this season finished 9th in a league that has about 15 teams. And a lot of you were attacking me when I made my statement that I don't take anything away from the Netherlands opportunity. I enjoyed when my team plays good teams, etc. Which is why, for example, back in the days, I enjoyed Vodacom Challenge when we play against Manchester City, Man United, Tottenham and stuff. But you know what we also did during those preseason days? We would play Pirates. Someone who is close to us would play Pirates. We would go on to play one-day tournaments. One-day tournaments would find smaller teams, maybe like Amazulu or whatever the case may be, and maybe an NFD team as well. They would also play those kind of teams. And we played a lot of those kind of tournaments. It helped us get fitness, and it also helped us, the coaches find combinations. Now, why I'm saying this is because there's one thing you need to take away from this Netherlands journey, right? The one thing you need to take away from this Netherlands journey is simple, is that the teams we play were better than us, right? Were better than us. And when I say they were better than us, they were more organized, they play in a stronger league, etc. Now, the big thing I want to show you, if you'll see my graph today, there's a little point that says top 7 points. Top 7 points is basically I took the log, and then I said the top 7 teams versus the below 7 teams. I couldn't really do a top 8 because of Royal AM and Chiefs would also fall into that. So I put top 7. So when I show you this little table, it says top 7 points, meaning that these are the number of points and the results we got to take away from the top 7 teams in the league. And you'll see the top 7 teams is Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, Stellenbosch, Sekhukhune, TS Galaxy, Amazulu, and Polokwane. Those are the top 7 teams of the previous league. And in those top 7 teams, we won 4 games, we drew 5 games, and we lost 5 games, right? So in the 5 games that we lost, the 5 games that we basically lost last season, 4 of those 5 games are against Sundowns and Pirates. So the top 2 teams. So the top 2 teams, we lost 4 games out of 4. So that was the one there. The other game that we lost was against Polokwane City. So now why am I saying this is because losing against Sundowns and Pirates is more of an expected result, right? When I say expected result, based on what we were playing. Right. But now when you look at the bottom 7 teams, right, we still had the same amount of wins. We had 4 wins, we had 3 draws, and we had 7 losses against the bottom 7 teams. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm saying, Uti, these bottom 7, the fact that we lost 7 games against the bottom 7 teams, and 3 of those 7 games that we lost, 3 of them, I want to highlight 3 of the 7 games that we lost against the bottom 2 teams, position number 15 and position number 14. Those bottom 2 teams took away 9 points from Kaizer Chiefs. You see, I'm highlighting this because when I sometimes make these statements, right, that you also need to incorporate in your preseason playing smaller teams, knowing that they're going to come with low blocks, you also need to prepare for that, and you have to prepare for it in a game. You can't prepare for these things in training. We saw the whole of last season, our Nabi were trying to prepare for low blocks in training and it didn't work. But you have to use the preseason to also prepare for that. But yeah, to sum that up, I think you'll see my graph here, but whatever, you can look at it and take from it what you will. But another so I just wanted to show you that we lost more points against the lower half than we did against the top half. And in the top half, the teams that took the most points from us are number 1 and number 2 on the log. It's expected. The rest should not be taking so many points from us. And I wanted also to show you that the difference in points between us and Sundowns last season was 41 points. Meaning that Sundowns, this is sad to say, you could take Sundowns' points that they finished the season with and take away half of their points and they would still be on top of Chiefs. If you take those 73 points of Sundowns and cut it in half, just take half of their points and throw them away, Sundowns would still finish the season with more points than Chiefs, because they would finish the season with somewhere around 36, 37 points. If they just took half of their points and threw them away. Meaning that with half of their points, if they threw away half of their points, do you know where Sundowns would have finished if they took away half of their points? They would have finished number 5. And that is a scary thing to say. Sundowns, if they just took away half their points, they would finish number 5. Then the next stat I wanted to show you is that if the difference between Kaizer Chiefs and the team that got relegated, which is Cape Town Spurs, the difference between those two is 5 points. Meaning that Chiefs was basically 2 losses away from being where Cape Town City was. Now, I'm highlighting this for everyone to understand something very specific. And the thing that I'm trying to highlight is we can't take away from the season we had. And the season we had was terrible in the league. In the league, we were 5 points away from being relegated. I am going to repeat. We were 5 points away from being relegated. Meaning that out of the 8 games that we won, if we had just lost 2 more games, we were going to be relegated. So that is a scary thing to say. But now I'm going to be honest and say this. I've spoken about Nabi. You guys know my feelings about Nabi, etc., etc. But now I want to speak about management. I want to say this. I feel for Nasreddin Nabi. Nasreddin Nabi is expected to take a poor team, transform them into a team that competes with Sundowns and Pirates. Let me make an example for you. Nasreddin Nabi, from the beginning of last season, said this team is not good enough. He said the team, there's a lot of players that should not be at Chiefs and the team quality is not good enough. So Chiefs went and got him Serino, they got him Miguel, they got him Dudley, they got him Lilepo, etc., Cross, etc. Those are the players they got. Now, in the players that they got, those players became starters, right? Those players became starters, meaning it already is telling you that Nabi was right. Because most of the players that Nabi signed instantly became starters. But the scary part is those players that became starters were still not good enough to even be at Sundowns and Pirates level. That's the scary part, because those same players were struggling to get to the level of Pirates and Sundowns. But then this season, current season, Chiefs management was meant to go, because Nabi did say that he can't coach this current team because this current team is not good enough. It can't give him the results that he needs because Nabi has still stressed at the end of last season that he cannot carry on. Kumbuli quality. But that's what Nabi was crying about. He says, he wants quality and he doesn't believe he's going to continue with the Chiefs job if they don't sign him his players. And I still say this. I still feel Nabi can still resign. And when Nabi resigns, I think it will shock Kaizer Chiefs management more than it will shock the fans. And that is a reality that I don't think Kaizer Chiefs management is ready for. Because Nabi was clear, I cannot continue with this project until I am happy with the quality. Now Nabi knows the quality he wants. And the players that have come in now, I can tell you, I know it's not what Nabi wants. And a lot of people will be like, how do you know? How do you know? Yes, that's your problem, you guys. You go on the internet and you start talking lies. How do you know Nabi does not want these players? And then it's like, it's simple. Nabi wants Abu Faisal Salum. And it doesn't even have to be those Abu Faisal, like quality. We're talking level, standard. Faisal Salum, Fiston Mayela. These were the players that Nabi wants, that is interested in. And I haven't seen those players. All I see is Abu Flavio. Flavio that we heard Guti. Flavio used to play in the same team as Thabo Cele when they were juniors in Benfica. When Thabo Cele was in Portugal in his younger years, he was actually in the same squads as Flavio. So you could see that Flavio and Thabo Cele that's where the connection to Flavio comes. How Chiefs does the assessment of saying Flavio's good enough, I don't know. Cheslet is one, we don't know how it came about, but Cheslet is the one who basically contacted Chiefs or asked his agent to contact Chiefs. It's not a thing Oguti Chiefs was looking for Cheslet. Cheslet got his agent to go and contact Chiefs and says, this guy is available, I'm available. Shinga is a Cele connection. Sharp. Marco Monyani, I can't really speak about that. Ndlovu, it's basically a mad replacement, so that one is easy. But I'm saying, Guti, these players I can't really say on or what will make Nabi happy. These players help you cement what we already know. And I don't want to be harsh and say too much, but they do fix part of your problem, but they don't fix most of your problems. When I say they do fix part of your problem, we had a left back and right back crisis. They are fixing that problem. But it hasn't fixed the goalkeeping, haven't fixed the midfield, it hasn't fixed the striking department. It hasn't. And why I'm saying this is because Nabi, guys, just because Nabi is still our coach today, don't be fooled in thinking this guy can't wake up tomorrow and resign. Or don't be fooled in thinking that the day before the season starts, the day before our first league game, Nabi can walk into the Kaizer Chiefs office and say, Eita Kaizer, Eita Bobby, Eita Jessica, bafethu kusacela ukunifriza kusangitshela something quick and like mina angisafuni ukusipana yiso ngiyabuyela ekhaya bangithumele umsebenzi ngale I'm fine. So now we can easily say that and say Eddie Brazo, thank you for the opportunity, but na kyavai. So Nabi can easily say that, and then when they're like, oh Nabi, what? Where are you going? Sikuthengela bo Flavio, sikuthengela bo Shinga. Where are you going, Nabi? And Nabi can easily say, Guti, in the list of the players that are asked for, take one player that you gave me that I asked for. And don't bring up our Flavio and these things. These guys are not the player. I'm like, yeah, Nina. You guys were taking me lightly. I asked for quality because I want to build a strong Chiefs. You guys clearly are talking about a good Chiefs, but you don't really want to build a good Chiefs. You talk about it, and that's the difference. I am action, you are talk. And I can't deliver I can't go to the. I feel like it's wrong for me as a Kaizer Chiefs coach to continue to go to the fans and try to deliver a product that I don't feel I have the material to deliver. So I'm going. So that is still a possibility. And like I'm saying, if Nabi does resign like that, it will shock the management. But will it shock me? No, because Nabi already told me as the fan, Gutiena, he will resign if he's not happy with the quality. But the management will be surprised because Bona, they think Abu Flavio and them is quality. So yeah. But anyway, and I'm not here to judge Abu Flavio and stuff like that. But sometimes first impressions count, body of work counts, all of these things count. Because right now, what a lot of fans who are trying to be positive about Abu Flavio are doing is that they're hoping for a miracle. They are hoping for a miracle. Meaning, when you look at Flavio's body of work, all the teams he's played for, when you look at his highlight videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and football, you come to the conclusion that this guy won't make it at Chiefs. But because you want to be positive, you ignore all of that information you have. You ignore all of it. You say, and let me actually forget that I have this information. And when you ignore all of that information, you know what you say? You say, I'm going to give Flavio a chance because maybe management assessed him in a different way, and maybe management knows how to get him right. And you know what that is? That is us being hopeful and us praying for miracles. And sometimes you are lucky. Sometimes you are lucky. But if you are a big team like Kaizer Chiefs, are you in the business of luck? Or are you in the business of making sure you get the signings right? Because Chiefs in the past 10 years has been in the business of luck. They have not been in the business of knowing their story. Pirates, business of knowing its story. Stellenbosch, business of knowing its story. Sekhukhune, business of knowing its story. Sundowns, business of knowing its story. Kaizer Chiefs, business of luck. They hope. They are hopeful. They want to have luck. They are hopeful. When they sign a player, I'm hopeful Guti is going to be good. It's not a fact Guti is going to be good. Because you guys, I will say this, you guys come out here and bash Billiards. You bash Dolly. Maybe some people are starting to bash Cirino. But let's be honest. Those guys actually put up good numbers despite the quality that they played with. Despite the quality that they played with, they still delivered what was expected. But it was difficult for them to deliver more than that because more than that required them to be playing with quality. And that's the difficult part about that was the difficult part about being a Chiefs for a lot of these superstars. A lot of people are going to say pressure, but let me put it to you like this. If Keegan Dolly at Sundowns is playing with Abohlompo Kekana, Tiani Mabunda, Themba Zwane, Billiard, Anthony Lafort, all of these players, Keegan Dolly is playing with these players. Do you know what happens to Keegan Dolly? He's not pressured to deliver every game, Castro. He's not pressured to deliver every game. It makes him more comfortable to be adventurous, to take more risk in a game. Because he's not expected to take a lot of risks. I mean, he's not expected to deliver every game. And he knows that the people at the back, if he makes mistakes, they cover him. But then switch him to Chiefs. You need him to score. You need him to score. You need him to create. You need him to defend. You need him to press. You need him to... It's not Guti you want or Angagzam. You need it. Because if he doesn't do it, Chiefs is dead. And that is the pressure they were playing under. Guti, when they had a bad game, Chiefs fans, Beba Quenya, management, Beba Quenya, the whole country, Beba Quenya. But when they were at Sundowns, no one sees your mistakes when your team is still tumbering people. No one sees your bad game when your team is still beating someone 4-0. But when you couldn't even hit the ball on target. But when I beat Kaizer Chiefs, And when you miss, your team loses, you will be the problem. They're going to say Marapili had that chance. Why didn't he put it in the back of the net? It's like, yes, and he had the same chances at Sundowns and he missed them. Now. So anyway, Amakhosi for life.